In Greece, people are hearing the first results of today's referendum, and so far it is good news for the no side. People voted on the new austerity measures the European Union wanted the Greek government to put in place, but the Prime Minister decided to hold a national referendum instead, and he urged people to vote no. The CBC's Jeff Semple is there. He's in Athens in front of the Greek Parliament, where a crowd has been gathering for some time now. Jeff, what do the early results show?
Yeah, this crowd, you can feel the anticipation building, Asha. A lot of no supporters right here behind me in front of the Greek Parliament, and a lot of them are feeling pretty good right about now. No official final confirmation yet, but we've heard that around 20% of the vote has been counted, and the no side appears to be well in the lead with about 60% of the vote so far. Now, again, that is not a final result, but it does seem to jive with 4 public opinion polls released in just the last couple of hours by Greek local media, all showing the no side in the lead, albeit by a small margin. Millions of Greeks were eligible to vote today. They went to polling stations across the country, got a ballot just like this one, and answered nay or ohi, yes or no, to the proposed austerity measures by Greece's creditors in the European Union and the Eurozone, proposing things like further pension cuts and higher taxes. And Greeks were asked in this poll whether they wanted to accept those proposals or say no. And it certainly appears at this point, Asha, that they are leaning very heavily towards rejecting those measures.
Right, and it's important to note, of course, yes, these are preliminary results so far. We're waiting to see what happens as these votes continue to be counted. If the trend continues, though, Jeff, and the no side wins, what happens next?
Well, the truth is, Asha, nobody knows exactly what's going to happen next, and that is because, in large part, we have heard so many different things and predictions from all sides. European leaders in particular have been all over the map over the last week or so in predicting what might happen if Greeks were to vote to reject the austerity measures being proposed. We've heard some European leaders suggesting that Greece would have to leave the Eurozone and return to their national currency, the drachma. But over the last day or so, other European leaders have suggested they might only have to leave the Eurozone temporarily or perhaps even not at all. So you can't blame the Greeks for feeling a bit confused going into today's vote. One man who has been saying the same thing all week is the Greek Prime Minister, Alexis Tsipras, who said that the Eurozone and Greece's membership in it was not on the line going into this referendum, accusing European leaders of bluffing and saying that a no vote would simply strengthen his position to negotiate a better deal for Greece. And he has said that if the no side wins the vote today, it appears that they might, he will be able to get a new deal for Greece within 24 hours, and the banks could be open and start pumping out cash again by Tuesday morning. And it seems, so the question for a lot of Greeks going into this today was whether they believe those European leaders in their threat that Greece would have to leave the Eurozone. The vast majority of Greeks, we've seen time and again with public opinion polls, do not want to leave the Eurozone, but they also don't want these tough austerity measures. So it appears, and again, it is early still, but it would appear based on the results we've seen so far, that Greeks are in effect calling Europe's bluff. And if they are, and if the results are as they appear, Europe will have to show its hand, Asha.
That is for sure. Okay, well, we'll check in with you soon. Thanks, Jeff. CBC's Jeff Semple in Athens.
You bet.
Greek leaders are already reacting to these early results. For that, we go to Natasha Fata in our newsroom. What is the government saying, Natasha?
Well, Asha, someone in the Ministry of Finance spoke with local media on condition of anonymity, but saying this man, the Minister Yanis Varoufakis, who would have potentially lost his job had the vote gone differently and gone to the yes side, is already meeting with the leaders of Greece's banks and trying to set up negotiations with the European Central Bank about how things will proceed. He is feeling emboldened, we understand, from the ministry because of these early results. And as we've been talking about for the past few minutes, Asha, only 20% of the vote is in. But what this map indicates to you is a sea of orange. The orange is a representative of the no vote. 60% of the votes counted so far indicate that Greeks are saying they do not accept the new measures of austerity being presented by the European Union and the European zone. We're also hearing from other members of the leftist government. one person saying that this is proof that Greece wants to remain part of Europe, but not as a debt colony, but rather as equal partners. We're hearing from the defense minister, who is saying this is a great day for Greece, that Greece will not be terrorized and they will not be victimized. Similar sentiment coming from the leader of the independent Greeks, saying that democracy has won out today. But of course, there were a number of people supporting the other side, including the conservative parliamentarians. One senior official on the conservative side is saying that while he's conceding that it looks like the no side has won, he's putting a lot of pressure on the prime minister to now get to work and make a deal within the next 48 hours, as he had promised to do so with the European zone. So considerable amount of pressure on the prime minister, but certainly it seems it is a victory for him today.
Pressure and anticipation. And we know ahead of this referendum, Natasha, of course, the banks were closed all week. So how does today's vote affect Greece's banks moving forward?
Well, it seems that the banks are scheduled to reopen on Tuesday, or at least that's the plan. But what we're hearing from the heads of Greece's banking association is that they will run out of money by tomorrow. So what we're hearing from Greek media that specializes in business reporting is that the prime minister is going to set up a meeting with the European Central Bank to get an injection of 6 billion euros in the next 24 hours.
Thanks, Natasha.
You're welcome.